morning, students who are looking for a healthy mind, a healthy body, and a healthy spirit. Some of you who are like listening to me go off in my other classrooms a little bit, like, is that healthy, Dr. Feravich? It is. We really need to speak out for justice. And the very first ways that we always speak out for justice, of course, are for our loved ones, for ourselves and our loved ones, right? And so, yeah, and you know, one of the reasons why we see so many men in power is because women who speak out for justice have little voices like this and say, pardon me, but I was wondering if you wouldn't wear your glasses that have lenses in it because it really bothers me. I will never forget you, whatever your name was. I'm gonna find out. Because that was so funny. I'm looking at the highlights book. How can I not find that one? Seriously. This is so cute. Dear highlights, my brother used his wits to construct a toy lightsaber that he is best at dueling with, one that he can even finally beat me from time to time. Instead of being angry or enraged, I feel happy, proud. I don't know how to interpret this. Can you help me out here, highlights? How cute is that? Finally, I'm getting a fire. Dear friend, we're so glad to hear that you're proud of your brother for constructing his toy lightsaber. We understand why your feelings could be confusing, but they are good feelings. The pride and happiness that you feel is probably a result of watching him improve. Have you been teaching him or giving him tips? Have the two of you spent a lot of time practicing together? No doubt your brother is proud of himself too. Younger siblings often look up to older siblings, and being able to defeat you in play fighting is a big milestone for him. You are watching him grow up little by little, and because you have been a key player in this part of his childhood, you can share in his happiness. We hope you and your brother continue to bond over lightsabers or anything else for a long time. Oh my gosh. It's like now tears of joy just pouring out of my eyes. Also, I want to tell you, Anonymous, who wrote that letter, let me tell you something else. You were brought up in a good family. You were brought up in a good family because a good family would bear out natural instincts to be happy when somebody else was succeeding, even to the point of beating you. That is a good family. You can be proud of whoever raised you or is raising you, for sure. That one about the glasses was in the magazine, right? That one was probably in the magazine one. Okay, we're on school. I'm sorry, I'm sitting over here reading it and I'm not reading to you. That's just so silly. I get, as you probably do. So, 2 homes, look at that. I just got caught on the picture here that was drawn here for 2 homes. I thought that was really, 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 really pretty. From Isabella, age 9. I have 2 homes. Most people have 1 home, but I have 2. My dad's house is scented with the wonderful smells from the food that he cooks. My mom's house is small, warm, and cozy. So I'm talking about scents there. When I think of home, I think of 2 places. I love both homes. When I think of home, I think of 2 faces. I love it. Okay, But we're on school now, letters about school. Oh, this is the one that we said almost every day before I get up. I say I'm going to be good and work quietly. You know, that doesn't make you a bad boy either, or a bad girl. If you are a talker, and I told you yesterday I was a talker, right? That was what I always got in trouble for, was talking. If you're a talker, that doesn't make you a bad. I was not a bad girl ever. I did a couple things that were wrong, but not a lot. Hardly ever. I can't even think of anything. I mean, the things I did that I felt bad about were like I forgot my homework. I was a kid. Big deal. It doesn't make me bad, right? Same thing. Same thing. You talking in school doesn't make you bad. Makes you talkative. You got to try and quiet down in school for sure. Dear highlights, I want to be in the chess club at my school, but lots of people think that chess is for dorks, and I don't want my friends to think I'm a dork. Can you help me? My son's had that problem too. My older son. I think he wanted to be in the chess club. I don't know. Dear Ivy, this is Ivy, 1998. I don't think that's her age. I think that's the year. Dear Ivy, we all have different likes and dislikes. That's what makes each of us unique. Chess is a strategic game and takes patience and thinking skills. Sometimes people make fun of the interests of others because they don't understand these interests. They might think it covers up their ignorance by teasing others. It takes courage to step out and do something different from your friends. Part of growing up is choosing to do things that best suit your interests, whether or not other people approve of them. Each of us has special interests to cultivate. To waste them because of other people's thoughts would be a shame. Stepping out and fulfilling your heart's desire could encourage your friends to look for their own unique talents. It takes confidence to pursue a special interest. Be proud of who you are. I love that. Wonderful. Again, Amy, the only other thing that I would add is this. I wouldn't talk about it if you think that they might make fun of you. I would be very mysterious about it, right? And keep them acting curious about it if they think that you would make fun. So I would just disappear during lunch hour or whenever the chess club is supposed to meet. I wouldn't talk about it. I would just say, hey, got something else going on. And then let them be curious and interested and ask you questions about it. If you're like, I'm in the chess club, gotta go, and then they feel like you've left them or abandoned them for chess, they're gonna make fun of chess. That's the object of your splitting up as a team or whatever. So don't give them the object, right? Don't give them the object. Just if they're curious and they ask, okay. Dear highlights, everybody says my 5th grade teacher is going to be strict. What should I do? This is Clint, 1996. Let's see what Amy has to say. Dear Clint, wait until you have this teacher, then judge for yourself. Your opinion may be different from your friends. Teachers, like parents and friends, have different styles and personalities. Try to remember that learning to get along with all kinds of people is a valuable skill. And you may find that a strict teacher runs an orderly and fair class in which you can learn a lot. So my son was afraid of that too. He could have written this letter as well. He was afraid he was going to have a strict teacher. And he found out he liked strict teachers. Why? Because they kept the class quiet and orderly, and it was easier for him to work in a quiet classroom. Just like the boy here who was saying, he was talking with a strict teacher A strict teacher won't let kids just wander around the classroom, get up out of their class, and talk to other students, right? And that's a fair teacher as well. A fair teacher for everybody. That's what she said. A fair class in which you can learn a lot. Most teachers just want you to listen, do your best, follow rules, and be respectful of others. So a strict teacher would make sure that that's what you're doing, right? Okay. Dear Highlights, I don't like math, but my parents tell me to do it almost every day. Can you help me understand why it's important? Isabel, 2012. Oh. I was wondering about your parents making you do it every day, because in school, you have to do it every day. You do math every day in school. So your parents are making you do math every day, and you want to understand why. Okay. Dear Isabel, some subjects will be helpful to a person's career someday, but all subjects can make everyday life better. Can you see how you'd use math in these everyday situations? Ordering pizzas for a group, making time to play and do homework, figuring out sports statistics, deciding how much money to take on a field trip, making half a recipe, and doing woodwork or other crafts. Try to find math throughout your day. You'll see it everywhere. You may not enjoy practicing it, but you'll be glad you did when you need to use it. That was so good, Amy. That was so good. I would have never thought to use those examples. I don't know who taught you to write this way in response, but these problems could seem like they are similar all the time, and your answers aren't similar all the time. Your answers are very unique, and they are really, really good. So thank you for that, Amy. Again, the thing that I would only point to is the fact that the part of the question is your parents tell you to do math almost every day. Well, it sounds like you might be homeschooled, because I wouldn't have my parents telling me to do math every day. But at your age, I was doing math every day, because in school, you do math every day. So everyone who is in school should be expecting to do math every day. Now, and maybe you think it's different. Maybe you think you shouldn't have to because it's your parents telling you to do it, which is another reason why I didn't homeschool. I didn't homeschool because I knew that my kids would blame that on me. Isabel was blaming having to do math every day on her parents. And then if it were a boy, he might decide not to do it. Girls are much more willing to comply than boys are. My sons, again, as I said, would have never taken instruction. I would have been, where's your homework? And they would have been like, and they would not have been rude about it. They wouldn't, I could make a joke and they would have been like, and then, but they would not have been rude about it. They would never have been rude about it. But it would have been for my second child, my second son, my second oldest son, it would have been really, all it would have been is a fight for us. And my older son, who really was very, very smart, both of my boys are very smart, but my older son was so smart that he knew how smart he was. And so he was constantly, in his own mind, I'm quite certain, questioning how smart his mom was. So in both of those instances, my younger son, who would have lied every day about his homework and doing his work and, and the effort that he put in his work, he would have lied. My younger son would have lied about it every day. So I would have created a liar had I been a homeschool teacher or homeschooled. I would have created a liar. my son would have been a liar and I would have created a liar. So I didn't want to do that. And that's actually, that really is true. You can't create circumstances where you know your kids are going to lie all the time. You got to figure your way around that, right? And then my older son every single day would have thought he knew more than me and would have simply refused to listen to me. So that would have been my my experience with homeschool teaching. So I knew, as great of a teacher as I am, OU, and other schools and universities, as great of a teacher as I am, I would not have homeschooled. And that is one small example. It's not that I couldn't have taken the blame for teaching them math every day. It's that my son would have never understood it to the point of becoming unruly for me, right? Dear Highlights, I have a problem getting along with teachers. They keep on telling me too many things to do. What should I do to get along with them? Joshua, 1988. That's a great question, Joshua. Let's see what Amy has to say. So all I have to say is, nice job, Amy. Dear Joshua, a good talk with one of your teachers is the most direct way to tackle the problem. It might also help to have a talk with your mom, your dad, and some other adult. They may have some good advice about how to get along better with your teachers. Your teachers are probably doing what they feel is best for you. If they give you many things to do, it is most likely because they want you to learn many things and do your best. Try to write them down as well as you can. Once your teachers see that you are working hard to try to get along better, things will probably change. I agree with what Amy has to say. Next one. No, I do agree with what Amy has to say. You're talking about teachers, and so that's good. I mean, in one way, it is you, Joshua, you are recognizing that the problem is likely with you and not your teachers. That's an amazingly mature thing to realize. What could you do? That it's not you, it's not the teachers, it actually is you. And what is bothering you is that you have too many things to do. So, I think things will probably change, like Amy said. Why? Because you're working on the problem, and the problem is you. You're not trying to change your teachers. Sometimes teachers aren't the best teachers, although I do know most teachers are really great teachers, okay? But sometimes teachers aren't the best teachers, but you have mentioned it's more than one teacher, and so you've said the problem is you. What can you do? Again, unbelievably adult-like, unbelievably mature of you to think about it that way. Now, the top paragraph here where it says you might want to talk to your mom or dad or some other adult about this. This is a really good question because this is a problem with a lot of kids. All they do in school now in order to be able to get, I mean, it's kind of like on the internet. All right, it's kind of like on the internet. What are they trying to do? They don't care what you're clicking on. They just want you to click, right? So it's kind of like that on the internet. So they don't really care how you learn it or what you learn as long as you get the answers for the final test, as long as your state scores aren't in the toilet, as long as the United States doesn't look like the dumbest country on the planet. That's what they are working towards. And so the education system is pretty imperfect. And one of their imperfections is it can't teach to everybody. And one of those people that it's having a hard time teaching to clearly is you. I want to move out of the way of the fire a little bit. And that's because the way they teach now is that they are pouring the information in you. And so, Joshua, you've got it right. I'm going to tell you, Joshua, you've got it right. But even if you have it right, that's not necessarily going to help your situation now, is it? No. But you have it right. They are giving you too much work. They are giving you too much work. Now they've changed, and now they've dumbified all of the school, and now you're not supposed to bring home any homework because of the anxiety of homework, and that's all that they do, is they ping pong back from one extreme to the other in regulation and telling what teachers what they have to do. It's not because of the teachers sometimes, it's because of the people who want to have that final bait click, like on the internet, that final score that they want, that's telling teachers what to do. It's not because teachers want to do that or teachers don't understand what it takes to learn. It's the system. Did I write that down, that that's another thing that we're going to destroy? I did not, but I did add AI. So we're destroying universities, we're destroying the medical industry, we're destroying the judicial system. That includes dentists, I put on there. AI, don't forget. And now, the educational system as we know it. They've never poured anything into the educational system as it's needed because they always believed that the public education was for the poor. Starting with the blacks. Got that right. Forgot my homework. Oh, I forgot my homework. Oh, what a drag. Oh, I forgot my homework. I forgot to put it in my book bag. Oh, what should I do? Oh, what should I say? Should I tell my teacher my little brother threw it away? Although I should tell the truth, I know I shouldn't lie. I won't be able to talk very well, for I'm getting ready to cry. Brianne, age 8, 2003. Melissa, age 9, 1989, The Homework Machine. Is that how homework disappears? How cute is that? How cute is that? And there you can see Joshua's letter on the other side there too. So Joshua, I'm tackling, and you're not learning what you're supposed to be learning. I mean, it's the same thing, right? You're like, oh, we're not doing population control. Oh, what happened? You mean we have less population? Oh, we're not trying to dumb down our kids. Oh, what happened? They're dumber. So they ping pong back and forth between these two extremes as if they don't know what is necessary for you to learn. And they do. I'm working on it, Joshua, from 1988. I'm working on it. Brittany, age 9, 2013. At school, I had to do a lap around the grass. I seen a pine cone, and I picked it up and threw it. Then it bounces off the ground and hits this guy in the back. And I said, I'm sorry. I did not mean it to hit you. And he said, you're right, and told the teacher and principal. And the teacher told my grandma because I live with her. And I told her what happened. And no one believes me. What do? I really need your help on this one. P.S. I love your books. They are awesome. And in the December book, in the crafts, can you teach us how to make a snowflake? Here's I'm sorry, right? Okay, so at school, I had to do a lap around the grass. I seen a pine cone, and I picked it up and threw it. Then it bounces off the ground and hits this guy in the back. Okay, let's see. Dear Brittany, we're sorry that no one believes you when you say you didn't throw the pine cone at a boy on purpose. Sometimes we're just in the wrong place at the wrong time. We're proud of you for doing the right thing and apologizing to the boy, even though you didn't mean for the pine cone to hit him. Instead of focusing on the negative outcome of this incident, try to put it behind you and save your energy for more important things. Sometimes, no matter how hard we try, we just can't convince people of something. If you know you didn't hit the boy with a pine cone on purpose, then you should be able to reassure yourself that you know the truth, and that's the most important thing. Now, That's great, Amy. The thing that I would say, Brittany, is this. I'll just jump right into it. It sounds like you hit the boy on purpose. Or if you didn't hit him on purpose, you threw the pine cone when you were angry. Why'd you have to do the lap around the grass? Why'd you have to do the lap around the grass? Because that may be a reason why you might be mad and throw a pine cone. And the pine cone hit a boy. Oh, the boy said, yeah, right. And then told the teacher. That's what he said. And maybe that boy had a reason why you had to take the lap in the grass, around the grass. Maybe he did, right? Here's what I would do. I would have tried to take the lap in the grass without being mad. Like, cool, timeout for me. I get to walk around the grass, and that's a timeout for me. Maybe they didn't believe you because you were angry. It doesn't mean you did it on purpose. My son got in a car accident, a very, very, very bad car accident. And he had a friend sitting in the front seat next to him, and he had his brother in the back seat. And they had glass, little shards of glass in them, but that was it. And they could have all been killed. And the first thing that the police officer said to me when we got there was that he can't believe that they were all walking away from this, that nobody died. That was the first thing he said for me from this bad accident. And my son explained it to me. He rear-ended. It was his fault. He rear-ended somebody else. And there were lights. We saw a bunch of lights for construction. And I know that people have been after us for a long time. It's the reason why they're trying to put me out of this house. So they've been trying to hurt my husband, and they thought they killed him. People didn't know if they killed him or not. And they've been trying to hurt my two boys. It's why people keep coming up to me and saying, I'm sorry you lost your family, because they think that they hurt my two boys as well. So today, I know that that accident was to hurt my boys. I know it was. Which is unbelievable. It happened so many years ago. Today, if it happened to me today, right now, the injustice of that, and I'm still talking to you, Brittany. Yeah, I'm still talking to you, Brittany. That I would be so angry right now. I would throw more than pine cones. I would throw knives at the people if I saw their faces and what they did and the injustice. So the walk around the grass was, you have to look at as like a way to calm you down. The years between that happening and knowing that people have been targeting me and my family for years, knowing that today, that time in between has helped me not be so angry. Just like that walk around the grass. Just like that walk around the grass. Sometimes God gives us opportunities to not be angry. I heard you live with your grandma. That there might be circumstances there that also might make you angry, right? So I think the best thing for you to do, Brittany, back in 1988, is to figure out how you could handle your anger, right? It seems to me that people have given you a lot of situations, rightfully so, that would make you angry. People have given me a lot of situations that rightfully so would make me angry. And so what I have to do is I have to deal with that anger. The thing I told my son was this. So he said they hit their back brakes. I asked him, were you tailgating? He said no. Okay. I said, well, only you know the truth. See, there was something that my son, who was in the back seat, said, that he wasn't looking for a second and then had to, which is fine. That happens all the time too. What if I spilled a coffee? Am I not supposed to take my eyes off the road? Would I not automatically go, and my eyes would be off the road? Am I supposed to try and control that reflex and prepare for that reflex so my eyes are never off the road? No, you can't do that, right? So his eyes were off the road, and I know he felt guilty about that. I don't know why. They could have made a joke. They could have been off the road because they were joking, like ha ha hee hee, I'm a blind man, ha ha hee hee, goofing around like kids do. I didn't know the full truth. I knew that there was more to the truth, but I didn't know the full truth, and I didn't have to know. Jeez Louise, seriously. It's these pants. It really is. And having a couple babies, the gut is right down there. Just saying. So this is what I told him. I said, you understand what you did wrong. You understand what you didn't do, what was out of your control and you had nothing to do with. Make up for the thing you did wrong. You apologized. You did great, Brittany. You apologized. Make up for the thing that you did wrong, and the rest of it, you let go. Now, it's been hard for you to let go, Brittany, because you were young and because you did do something wrong. That's why it's hard for you to let go. And by you claiming to be 100% innocent, you know that they don't know the whole truth, or that maybe you didn't tell the whole truth. But Brittany, you apologized, and that should have been enough. That should have been enough. You may have been angry when you threw that pine cone, and maybe you even had a right to be angry, or maybe you didn't. Maybe you didn't have a right to be angry. I have a feeling you did have a right to be angry, Brittany. I have a feeling that sometimes maybe some people are constantly trying to get you in trouble or make you mad, Brittany. I think maybe that might be part of the case. And maybe that walk around the grass was due to that boy that you hit with the pine cone. Accidentally. I don't know. Or maybe you really did accidentally hit a boy with a pine cone. Maybe you just threw a pine cone. I don't know. But I'd say that walk around the grass is probably what got you angry a little bit, right? And I would also have to say that maybe that walk around the grass wasn't fair and that's why you were angry. Maybe a little bit. Or maybe it hasn't been fair that you have to live with your grandma and your grandma maybe not be the coolest person, right? Maybe there's a lot of things in your life that just aren't fair. It was 1988, 23, 33, 35 years ago. I'm wishing you the best, Brittany. I am wishing you the best. Honestly. True dat. Where are we? $12:45, we're done. Right? Yeah, I take my break at 12:45. Dear Highlights, my sisters and brothers and I are homeschooled. A lot of people don't have a very high opinion of us. They think we can do whatever we want, but that's not true. We have a time to start school and a time to be done. I just want to inform your readers that homeschoolers aren't at home for their parents to baby them. Katie, 1995. Dear Katie, it's easy to misjudge things we don't know about. And just as classes are different in difficulty and in teaching style, homeschooling is too. People, excuse me. People who think it's easy may know someone who homeschools and doesn't have the rules you do. Or they may be also fibbing about it too and saying, oh, we can do anything we want, and that's not true either, right? Try to be understanding when someone is uninformed. If you give information patiently and calmly, you have a better chance of your message getting through. Very good. Katie, a couple other things about this. Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth. Sometimes they just don't like the fact that you've got something that they don't, right? That it's just something different, right? So they're going to so you might try and explain patiently to them that you have to get up at such and such a time. They're like, "Well, what time?" "Well, we start school at 8. "Well, I have to get up at 6:30 in order to brush my teeth and wash my face and get on the bus, and the bus is a 45-minute drive. So whatever you're talking about, your life is easy." They will always find something wrong. If they don't like what you're doing because it's different from what they're doing, they might be jealous too. Lots of kids are jealous of homeschooled kids. They are. I could be jealous of homeschooled kids as a parent. You want to know why? Because I'm jealous of the fact that those kids will listen to their mom and dad to be homeschooled, and my kids wouldn't. So I couldn't homeschool them. They wouldn't listen to me that much. Enough for me to make sure that they got everything, right? They had the schedule. Because I would need to be a parent if I wanted to homeschool where they actually learned. And what happens if every day your son decides to jump up from the table and run around the table? Jump up from the chair, run around the table, or run through the house and make you chase him. He'll keep running until you chase him. What if he decides to do that every single day? What are you going to do? Chase him? You going to beat him? Wait till your dad gets home? What if it's your grandma? What are you going to do? Figure out how to make lemonade, right? Out of a bowl of lemons. Let's see. Recess. Recess is a ray of golden, gleaming sunshine on a dark and gloomy day, snatching victory from the hands of defeat, the end of the everlasting battle. Running, shouting, climbing out of the valley and over the cliff. The sun blazes. While the clouds prance across the sky, we are on the stone on top of the cliff. Crash, the rock breaks. It is time to go inside. As we line up, we hope with 2 words, extra recess. I said extra research. That's me. If I could just have anything, it'd be extra research. Extra recess. Aiden, age 9, 2012. How does a 9-year-old write a poem like that? I don't even know. Sonia, age 8, 1978. Drew that picture. I don't know how an age 8. I don't even believe those ages. I really don't. I can't believe those ages. There's just no way you drew humans like that at age 8. I could show you my human at age 58. Not even close to as good. Last one in school, then we're going to go to the next one. Dear highlights, in school I am one of the unusually smarter kids. So in math, when the problems are really hard, the other kids are always asking me what the answers are, or they're telling me to do work for them. Can you help me? Emma, age 11, 2007. Look at how cute that is. Dear Emma, it is great that you're such a good student, Emma. We understand it puts you in a difficult spot with your classmates. Although you might like to help them sometimes, you seem to realize that it's important that they do their own math. Also, it's not really fair for you to do the work and for them to get a free ride. We encourage you to talk with your teacher at a time when your classmates aren't around. Let's get this up a little bit. Let your teacher know that you feel uncomfortable when others ask you for help on schoolwork that is meant to be completed independently. In a very respectful and calm voice, explain why this bothers you. You might ask the teacher to keep an eye on the students sitting around you the next time the class has an assignment that is not meant to be done as a group. When your teacher assigns group work, we encourage you to do your best to help others. However, there is nothing wrong with politely refusing to give others answers when you know they are supposed to be completing their work on their own, whether it's classwork or homework. If your teacher would like you to help your classmates sometimes, try to guide them in finding the answer instead of doing the work for them. Your teacher can give you tips on how to do this. I might have told you this story, but it's worth repeating. I didn't tell you the complete story. I had a fellow student whose name is Scott Weiler. And in fourth grade, I think it was in fourth grade, the teacher had me teach math to Scott, like a teacher's assistant. And of course, I liked doing it because I felt like I was smart and special, and I felt like I was a teacher. But Scott couldn't get same age, right? In fact, he was, I believe that he was held back. So I believe he was a year older than me, okay? And I'm a girl and he's a boy. So there was one time there was a concept that he couldn't get. And I was getting upset with him. And it was the first time. I taught him pretty well. And he was learning, but there was something, it was a math concept and he couldn't get it. And the more frustrated he got, the more frustrated I got, of course. And then Scott started getting teary-eyed. Because I was like, I know you know this. I know you know this. We just said it. I know you know this. So what is this? And then tears started welling up in his eyes. And I think tears started welling up in my eyes. Because, or at least I felt so bad that I had done that to a fellow student. And I realized I wasn't a teacher. I was in third or fourth grade. I wasn't a teacher. And then I got a little bit mad in the moment, right in the moment, like inside, I got a little bit mad, like, and I said to Scott, I said, I don't know how to teach you this. I'm not supposed to be teaching you this. The teacher is supposed to be teaching you this. I can't teach you this. So I don't want to teach you anymore. And I told him, it's not because of you. I can't teach you and I'm making you cry. And I can't do that. I can't do that. So I can't teach you anymore because I'm making you feel bad, basically. And so I'm going to tell the teacher that I'm not going to teach you anymore. Okay? And it's not because of you. And I told him, it's not because of you. It's because I hurt your feelings. And I don't know how to not hurt your feelings. And I went up to the teacher and I put the chalk down on her desk and I said, we've decided I'm not going to teach Scott anymore. Scott said it's okay. And I'm not going to teach Scott anymore. And there are times, well, first of all, I don't know where I got the cojones to just say I'm not teaching Scott anymore. I remember what I did. I put the chalk on her desk. I explained myself to her. I wasn't mean about it, but I was mad that I did that to him because she didn't want to teach him. And I knew she didn't want to teach him because she didn't know how to teach him either. And so you're going to make him cry when you're the teacher. And I know I said I'm not the teacher and I can't teach him. And Scott and I decided, and he didn't. I decided I can't teach him. And I turned around and I went and I sat down at my desk and I started doing my work. There are times you're going to have to stand up for yourself. Like maybe tell the teacher, you keep letting these, like what if the teacher says you need to help them? That was my case, right? You have to help Scott. You be the teacher for Scott. It's because they didn't know how to do it and they didn't want to do it. And kids are smart enough to know that. I was smart enough to know that, and I'm not the only kid who knows that. The only thing about it is you don't think that adults are that way, right? Kids don't think adults are that way, but they're catching on, right? I mean, we've got Brittany who is with her grandma and has lots of things going wrong for her. They're catching on. They know you're a fraud when you're a fraud. They know when a fat man is telling a bunch of kids to do the labor, it's because he doesn't want to do it. That's why. Kids are catching on. Granted, you put them in a situation where they're not sure what to do about it, right? What's a kid supposed to do if their dad says get to work and he's a big fat guy drinking a beer? Who's he supposed to tell then? Right? Times are tough. Times are tough for everybody. Letters about friends. I think I'm going to continue this when we get back. So I'm going to end this a little bit early. I don't think that we have to do an hour class of reading those. I think we do a great job in this classroom in our healthy mind, body, spirit. Remember Don't worry so much about your body. We have put so much highlight on our, making sure we don't have the wrinkles, making sure we don't have the bags, making sure we have, pants that fit the way so that my body looks better. All these kinds of things. And the physical body comes when we have a healthy mind and a healthy spirit. And so, Oakland University, this is my healthy spirit speaking directly to you for trying to make it look otherwise. Fuck you. This is Dr. Annette Feravich. And by the way, Eric Herpes, don't ever fucking address me as anything other than doctor. You got it? That's going to cost Oakland University $5,000 every time I'm addressed without my degree that I paid for. It costs you $5,000 every time. You, personally, a check from you, Eric, for $5,000. Fuck you.